course, you have the iron or the gun or the tip right here. You have a couple of helping hands right here. You also have a light right here. So when everything's plugged in, working, turn on the machine, boom. So what's cool on this interface is you have 3 different settings. And this channel 1 is usually set at about 340, 350. And so what we want to do is let the temperature go up. If you're getting any kind of errors or anything on here, there is a sleep mode, so if it's been left on, it'll go to sleep so it doesn't burn the soldering iron up. On the knob, if you push the knob, you can cycle through the different settings or channels. So one of the things is we've got to make sure that this sponge is wet because we're going to end up cleaning the tip. So you want it to heat up for a little while, burn anything off of the tip. So you're going to notice different colors, right? So you might have one that's super shiny. That means that it's not oxidized, right? So oxygen is not a friend of our soldering tips. And if one starts to corrode and everything, we can try to correct it, but most of the time we're going to have to do a tip change. When you do that, helpful hint, make sure it's cool. So before you turn your soldering iron, make sure that this is like secure, and if it's not, you can actually feel a wobble. Now, if you feel a wobble all the time and it's tight, that means the ceramic inside has broken and we need to replace it. So in saying that, a couple other things. You have your solder that's on the spool over here. Then we have some brass that's inside this, and this is where we can actually put that in there, clean the tip off. There's also some rosin that's left in there, and when I put it in there, it's actually got solder mixed in, and it's a cleaner. So you'll see that that got really, really shiny. Then we can drag it across our sponge. So we're at that 350, and notice that that burns a whole lot. So you'll see that it is very clean now. We can take a little bit of our solder, and remember, different solder is going to have different temperatures. And one thing that you want to do is just watch the behavior of the solder. So when you're putting solder on the tip, you're going to see that, yeah, it makes fumes, that it makes a pretty much a bubble, right? It's got that surface tension still on there. Then we can clean all of that off. So that's actually really good and tinned. So what that means is that I could use it to put on wire, and it would work really good. So you can always test to see if you like the speed. That way your feed of your solder works out really good. And it depends on what you're working on, what you're going to get. So that soldering iron is ready to go now. I've got it tinned, it's cleaned, went across the water, went into the copper shavings. That way it's all cleaned up. That's set at 340. And then what we're going to move on to is actually the LED strips. So we're going to have to cut these and then actually flow solder onto these pieces, which is like a surface mount technique. So that's the soldering iron. You need to just be patient while you're getting it up and going. Take your time with there. That way everything else goes really smoothly. So thank you for letting me share this part of these soldering stations.